myself Dr. Lata Sharma. I am with you as usual. Now, this is the time that we have to be aware that one thing I want to share that you have to be careful about your health and everything. So, always be safe and be healthy. Adopt any type of healthy aspect so you will remain healthy. This is my advice to you. Then I am coming on my topic, that is we are going to continue, that is BPSC 134 IGNOU syllabus, that is BPSC 134, and we are with you on the panel, on the platform of knowledge you are getting by us. And my dear students, as we are aware that I have given 4 to 6 lectures related to your BPSC 134 syllabus, and I think you are going to be beneficial about this, and you are getting knowledge from that. Today, we are going to start a new concept that is also the part of last chapter that has been last concept that has been given. That was also regionalism. Now, this is the also the part of region. Today, we will also discuss about the regionalism part, but it will be continue related to the international affairs. We have given in the last chapter, in the last topic, the regionalism, but that was the regionalism was in a theoretical aspect, and we have given in a nation state regionalism aspect. Now this topic, regionalism in international affairs, will be covered in internationally and globally aspect of the regional level. So, regionalism in international affairs. Now we start with all of the cheerful aspect. We are going to start. This is regionalism in international affairs. Okay, students, we continue. The concept of regionalism. Now we have to be understood. We also have given some glimpses about the regionalism, but now the concept of regionalism, what has remained, what should be the concept of regionalism. That is, the modern world is seeing the emergence of a global trend where cooperation and integration are taking center stage. This is the main thing, that modern world is going to emerge. What type of emerging is going to modern world? That they want a global trend. What type of global trend? They want a global trend in which they want to make a agreement. They want to make a system, make a organization that should prefer, that should believe, that should be based on belief, cooperation, and integration, and taking center stage. What is center stage? That they have to be understood about the aspect of the emergence of global trend in a modern world concept, in the modern world trend. Regionalization is one way in which states respond to the challenges of globalization. What is the regionalization? Is it in way, and is one way in which states respond to the challenges of globalization, by which, because the regional has a regional organization, regional party, regional organization has been formed only for the make of for the global security. So they have given agreement to all the states for responding the challenges of globalization. What is the issues that can be covered by the globalization and the states? These challenges can be covered up by this regionalism aspect. Regionalism redefines the power of nation state and the essence of sovereignty. If we say that regionalism has the power, so there is no any problem, because all of the regional organization, only one regional organization has built up on the basis of contribution, cooperation, integration, and mutual understanding. And the main reason is collective security, for the collective security. So all of the states who wants to be confirm about their safety by the organization can be, for which type of essence they want a essence of sovereignty. Which type of sovereignty? That should not be defeated by any nation state. That this regionalism aspect, this regional umbrella will cover the nation state all of the problems, all of the challenges, all of the disturbances that can come time to time, but they have a combination of agreement. They have a memorandum of agreement between the states, so they have a essence of sovereignty. Now, regionalization. What is regionalization? Is it Harel? Harel has given a definition about the regionalization. That is, he has given this in 1995. Regionalization, the growth of societal integration. What type of growth? The growth of societal integration within the region and the often undirected processes of social and economic interaction. What type of regionalization? Why this regionalization has come on the ground? What was the reasons? What was the aim, purpose? What they want? That the growth of societal integration. They want, because of they want a societal integration. Which type of integration they want? They want a society. They want a societal integration within the region and state, because at that area, at this zone, at this spheral aspect, they want a societal integration and the often undirected process of social and economic interaction. What they want for this? They want a process that can be undirected and directed of social and economic interaction. Economic interaction, because of every state, every nation state has a sense of sovereignty. They want that their power should be covered in the social and by the social and economic interaction. So every time the challenges and threats of globalization, we can say that globalization has a very positive aspect, positive qualities, also positivity. It has a positivity of the states, but we can say this has a challenges to the countries, to the nation state, because the regionalization has been formed due to that this all type of global aspect has given them a challenge to make a progress in all their aspect, as in social and economic, also as in cultural, as in all of the fields. They want a trade and practice, and every world trade and practice. They want that all countries, all the nation state, they should cover, they should be stand up in a essence of sovereignty by the we can say the challenge for challenges that has been faced by coming of the globalization. So the concept of regionalism has been cover all these things. That is, the modern world wants what type of emergence? That they want emergence of global trend, where that what they doesn't want they want a peace cooperation, they want integration, they want that every aspect of the organization should be covered by the nation state, by the agreement of the nation state. The second is regionalization in one way which states respond to the challenges of sorry. Regionalization is one way in which state respond to the challenges of globalization. So this is, they want key that regionalization, they have make this group, they have make this organization, they have make this system for facing the problems that can be raised due to globalization. That can be, we can say that can be challenges also. They want that regionalism redefines what defines that power of nation state and the essence of sovereignty, that every state has a essence of sovereignty. Every society and every state wants to become a sovereign state. So for this, they want that all these sovereign state make a regional organization, they make a regional group, and for which reason they can face all type of problem that can be arise due to any reason. Okay, so this is Harel definition. We have also given here the growth of societal integration within the region and the often undirected process of social and economic interaction. This has been given by the Herald. This is in 1995. Now, the concept of regionalism. What regionalism want to present in a theoretical aspect? What is the main functioning will remain given by the regional aspect. There is regionalism encompass the economic, political, social, and security dimensions. In what of the dimensions should be covered by the regionalism is that every nation state in a global way. What they want the economic, the political, the social, and the security, all type of security that is related to trade and tarific, that is economic, political, that is related to security of the leaders, related to the understanding, the negotiations, the all aspect is given by the political aspect, social and security dimension. They all should be covered by this regionalism encompass. Regionalism theoretical aspect. There is a distinction between cooperation and integration. But there is also that if there is a cooperation and integration, there should be a distinction. What type of distinction should be there? That regional integration refers to when states go beyond the removal of obstacles to interaction and create a joint space governed by the common rules. Simple is there that regional integration is what type of reference should be covered here, that removal of obstacles of interaction and create a joint space governed by common rules. What they want that by the common rules there should be a joint space governed by common rules. There will be no any extra rules, not any regulations should be covered in there. That they want to remove the obstacles, that regional integration will work there for removal the obstacles, removal the problems, issues that should be covered by the cooperation and integration by the regionalism, by the regional organization. There is new regionalism. Why this new regionalism has come on the stage, come on the platform? Why this concept? Why this term has been come? Because of that new regionalism has led to the opening up of countries towards economic integration and the emergence of non-state actors. What type of non-state actors? There is new regionalism has led the opening up of countries. What? That they want a opening, they want a new startup, new starting of the countries. What type of step they want? They want a economic integration. What? That is economic integration that should cover the development process, the progressive process, and for the upliftment of, and we can say that should be covered all the global aspect by which they can economically stand up, and the emergence of non-state actors. And they want that non-state actors should come and take part in all of the activities. That new regionalism has been new regional actors should come and do the role for this. They want to start the opening up of new countries toward economic integration. This is the new regionalism, that new countries should have to come and they play a part in the emergence in for the economic integration. Because we can't say that we can say that any country can help in the economic integration and in economic cooperation. So we invite by the new regionalism that every country should effort for the economic integration. This is the concept of regionalism. Why do we pursue regional integration? There is a question arise here. There is a question that we can see, that is, what is the reason that we pursue regional integration? There is a need of global nation state to pursue regional integration because of there are many reasons behind this. Because every country has a particular aspect, has a necessity of becoming a nation state, and they want a security that security from the challenges that can come time to time, they have to face. As an, we can say, attack of the other country, there is a self interest also can arise, there is a particular domain, country can dominate the nation state. So there is a need of that every state, nation state, every country has to pursue the regional integration. Management of independence. By the pursuing the regional integration, what will happen? Management of independence. They will manage, they will confirm their system, their governmental system, their organizational system, their administrative system will be managed, because not by the dependency, but they can independent, and they can manage, they can be comfortable by settling down by newly independent states in their relations between themselves with the formal colonial power and with others. What will happen? A new independent, new free countries who are going to, who are, who have been free in a new concept, in a new scenario, they want that they settling down on newly independent states who have become newly independent state in their relations between themselves and the formal colonial power. They have also seen the colonial power and with the others. So they want independence of management, they want a independent management, independent overall system, the theoretical aspect and in the cultural aspect and in the, we can say, administrative aspect. They have become more and more manageable by this pursuing the regional integration. Management of interdependence. What is interdependence? There is also a need of interdependency. We can't say that the countries who are pursuing, who are following, who are the follower of regional integration, they can have a sense of interdependency. Why? Because interdependency is a more important aspect in relations of the nation state members, we can say, in relations of the other countries who are not the member of the any organizations. Regional organization is also depend on another regional organization, regional aspects, and all of the terms that is related to interdependence. That interdependency in a nation state behavior can be seen as regional mechanism to guarantee peace and security. Why? Interdependency is why? Because every country has a fear about that their security can be disturbed. So they want a guarantee of peace and security. Interdependency also seen in all of the terms, whether they are dependent, whether they are independent, and whether they have gone free from the rules of the colonial powers, and whether they are also have a challenge of the dependent and developed country who has remained the developed countries, that is superpowers. They are also have a they are also have a we can say, in a sense of fear, that any country who is equal to them, as like we can say Russia, as it has been before USSR, they also come and they give them a challenge, as we have seen in a scenario. That is that management of interdependence is more important. That is regional mechanism to guarantee peace and security, responses to regionalization, promotion of cooperation or set led integration. There is always a repetition of that they want the promotion of cooperation. Which type of cooperation? Because if there is no cooperation, there is no integration, there is no coordination. That type of regional integration cannot be approved, cannot we can enjoy this regional integration methods, and this is the regional integration memorandum, because every country, every nation state want a peace and security, promotion of cooperation, and or integration. So this is that why do we pursue regional integration, why do we follow the regional integration? This is that any type of regional organization, they have to pursue the regional integration. This is the more and more important task for them, because by the integration they can manage the interdependence, they can manage the dependence, and they can manage the internationalization. What they can manage? They can manage regional negotiation in the multilateral system, regional UN peacekeeping, regional responses to globalization. This is internationalization. If now that integration, regional organization has limited for the region, but now if they are also be comfortable, they are also be dependent, what type of workings, what type of management they are capable of manage of internationalization. What type of internationalization? That is regional negotiation. They are helpful, they can be mediator, they can also play a part of mediator in regional negotiation in the multilateral system, that there are multilateral theories, multilateral countries also working, because multilateral aspect of work needs a regional negotiation. That is multilateral system, there is a regional UN peacekeeping. What is the role of UN? That is he is committed to do the peacekeeping aspect. He is committed to give the regional responses. He is committed that all type of global aspect, global threat, that can be come by this global aspect, that is regional responses, peacekeeping aspect, and this all these regional negotiation can be covered regional by the nation state in a multilateral system, in a multilateral system. So why do we pursue regional integration? This is for making the independent, for manage the independence, for manage of interdependence, and manage of internationalization. Because we are going to internationalization, why we are going to global? We can say internationalization and global is the same thing. That that globalization has given a sense of global view. Which type of view? That every country has a new vision, every country has a new aspect of going to develop, that they can cover. As in the superpowers, they can be in the form of superpowers, they can be in the form of global world. So regionalism, for this, that what we think, that is there is a regionalism can be covered in Africa. What is the reason that Africa has made any type of regional organization for making the peace and security and integration and cooperation? So Africa, what is the regional aspect, what is the regionalism base and platform in Africa? We will now discuss about this regionalism in Africa. That is, as we know that Africa is also a part of our global countries, and this is a large portion of regionalization efforts in Africa consist of creating unions aimed at stimulating the African economy. There is that many organizations, they have made the efforts for the Africa, that they creating unions aimed at stimulating the African economy. That is that we can say African economy is a very big platform, big source of economy that can be consist of creating unions and aimed at stimulating the African economy. That is the meaning is that Africa should come in the regionalization aspect. The regionalization is more important because of that African economy can be utilized by the regionalization aspect. This happened throughout the region and is highlighted by the creation of CFA, franc, and created common monetary areas. How can it can be happen? Then this happened throughout the region and is highlighted by the creation of CFA, franc, and creating common monetary areas. Next is organizations such as Intergovernmental Authority on Development. This is IGAD. IGAD, that is organizations such as, which type of organization they are? There are in Africa, that is Intergovernmental Authority on Development, aimed at dealing with the issues such as drought, desertification, and conflict prevention and management. What do the IGAD do? Intergovernmental Authority on Development. What this do? What is the main purpose, aim of dealing? What the IGAD do and what is the aim? The IGAD deal with the issue, that is which type of issue? That is drought, desertification, and conflict prevention and management. This is IGAD. This is a regional organization. We can see Intergovernmental Authority on Development. This is also a regional organization of Africa and doing the better for the development of African community. The African Union consists of all 55 countries on the African continent. African Union, this is also an organization that is also working for the African community, and there is also given that African Union consists of 55 countries on the African continent. For the African continent, there is 55 countries. It was established on 26 May 2001 in Addis Ababa. There is a date, that is 26 May 2001 in Addis Ababa. The African Union organization has been built up, and there are 55 members countries is there in African continent, and launched on 9 July 2002 in South Africa with the aim of replacing the Organization of African Unity, which was created in dedication to ending colonialism and establishing political liberation. What is the purpose of African Union? That is, it has established in 26 May 2001 in Addis Ababa by the member countries of 55. But there is also launched a new organization, that is in 2002 in South Africa, with the aim of, what is the aim of? Replacing the Organization of African Unity. The aim of this African Union is that their aim is to replace the Organization of African Unity, which was created in dedication. What was the dedication? What was the key work of this OAU? To ending the colonialism and establishing, what type of they want to end? They want the ending the colonialism and establishing political liberation. They want liberty, they want equality, they want justice for. So they want, for this political liberation, they have made the African Union in 2001 in Addis Ababa and launched on 9 July 2002 in South Africa with the aim of replacing the Organization of African Unity. So this is the work has been worked in regional way in Africa by this that they want African Union in which 55 countries has been worked together for getting and for ending the colonialism and establishing political liberation. They want a liberty, they want a freedom. So regionalism in Africa. As we have discussed, there is organizations such as the Intergovernmental Authority on the Development. This is IGAD. What is the main purpose of IGAD? Is dealing with the issues such as drought, desertification, and conflict prevention and management. And next is regionalism in Africa. We are also with continuity. The Treaty of Abuja established the African Economic Community. As we are not in a general practice of that, what type of system, what type of working, what type of rules and regulations works in Africa for getting upliftment, for the development and progress of African community. So for this purpose, the Treaty of Abuja, there is a treaty has been worked, has been finalized, that is Abuja. Treaty of Abuja established in African Economic Community. Treaty of Abuja that has been established in the African Economic Community, that is AEC, coupled with OAU, that they form the AU using the European Union as a blueprint. Treaty of Abuja is the combination of AEC, OAU, and European Union. So they make it a regional organization, that is internationalization we can say, and global organization we can say, that is Treaty of Abuja. There is a point to be noted here that Treaty of Abuja is covered with the OAU, AEC, and AU and EU, that is European Union, because all these organization has also worked for the establishment of African Economic Community, and it all things has been covered in Treaty of Abuja. Historically, regional integration has been very active in Latin America. If we see that in Latin America, in regional integration from the starting, we can say that regional integration has been very small, has been very active and very powerful in Latin America. Starting with the Latin American Free Trade Association (LAFTA) in 1960. In 1960, there is a Latin American organization has been started, that is Latin American Free Trade Association. Central American Common Market, there is also a new organization has been built up. This is CACM. Andean Pact, that is also, and such as local communities have spring up everywhere. If we see that there is also the Latin American countries also working for the upliftment and for the making the global approaches, and there is a LAFTA, there is a CACM, there is also a local communities is spring up everywhere. They are spring up, they are making, and they can structuring the regional organizations for making their community strong. However, the countries that sought to open, such countries as Chile and Mexico, continue to pursue a bilateral free trade agreement. If we say there is a regionalism in Africa, so there is countries have come forward for that, as like Chile and Mexico, that as they have started a bilateral free trade agreement. Bilateral free trade agreement, that they are happy, they are agree to make a free trade agreement. They have a mutual understanding, uh, mutual we can say, they have make agreement for pursuing a free trade agreement between Chile and Mexico. So there is Treaty of Abuja that is established for the by the African Economic Community, coupled with OAU, and they formed the AU, African Union. They also associated with the European Union, that is Treaty of Abuja. And there is a Latin American Free Trade Association is also seen in 1960 for the regional integration, for the country's regional integration in Latin America, and Central American Common Market. This is CACM also started by the local communities. And there is a Chile and Mexico. They have started to pursue a bilateral free trade agreement. This is the effect of that regionalism. Otherwise, we can say international regional organization has worked in a international relations. They have covered with on all these platforms. Goals of the African Union, that what they want, that the all type of organization, why they have built up, why they have constructed, why they have started. This is the to achieve greater unity and solidarity between the African countries and Africans. There is a simple term is there, that what they want to achieve, greater unity and solidarity between the African countries and Africans. There should be a mutual bond should be there uh, between the African countries and the Africans, because of they want a greater unity. Second is to defend the sovereignty, territorial integrity, and independence of its member states. That is to defend the sovereignty, because every state has a sovereign power, they have a territorial integrity, they have independence also. So they want that every member state should be agree for all type of for defending the these all type of sovereignty, which they doesn't want to enter all type of things that should come in a member state. So there is a aim of African Union, that they want to defend all type, to accelerate the political and social economic integration of the continent. What they want, that in the African continent, they want a political and social economic integration. What type of integration they want? Political and social and economic. There should be three integration they want, that on all of the zones, on all of the areas they have to cover in the continent or the African continent, and they have to be built up a sovereign and a territorial integrity by the social, economic, and political integration. To encourage international cooperation, if they will remain, if we can say that if the African Union will remain solitary, and they doesn't want to open the door for the other countries, for the globally, that what will happen, that the African Union cannot work. So because there is an interdependency between the global worlds, global countries. So to encourage international cooperation, taking due account of the Charter of the United Nations and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. What the African Union wants, they want that they want to encourage international cooperation. They should not be that the African Union has a only African Union has an internal cooperation. They want encourage international cooperation, and that they want that they should that all countries should follow the Charter of United Nations and Universal Declaration of Human Rights. What this human rights? Because of Universal Declaration of Human Rights, if they encourage international cooperation and human rights, what will happen, that every type of challenges they will can face, because of that Universal Declaration of Human Rights is applicable to all of the countries, all of the global nation state. They have to follow, that has been written in a memorandum, written has been written in the norms and conditions and rules and regulations of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, as in the war timings, as in the attack timings, as in the struggle timing, as in the natural calamities timings, that all timings the UN Charter and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights work. So they want that every country should encourage the international cooperation. As usual, African Union is doing the same to promote peace, security, and stability of the continent. What they want, what the African Union want, and what they want to achieve, they want to promote, because as we have discussed that every country want the peace, security, and stability. So the African Union is so doing the same also, that they want what why they are promoting the peace, because they doesn't want any type, because this is the nuclear age time. This is the time of nuclear time. There is a biodiversity time. There is the polluted and environmental disturbing time. So to face the challenges of all these things, all these problems, the African Union is promoting the peace, security. They want a security. They that every country and organization want the security, the collective security, we can say, and stability of the continent. That is the main thing. No any colonial rule should be required there, because there is a newly, they have got freedom, and they have removed the colonial system. They doesn't want to make, they doesn't want that any superpower can make the colony again to them. So this is the thing, that to promote peace, security, and stability on the continent. This is the continent should have a sense, have a phenomena, have a theoretical ideology, that they want only peace, they want only security, they want stability in on the continent. This is the goals of African Union, and we are discussing that the regional organization, otherwise regionalism in international affairs. That internationally, what type of regions is working, and what is the main functioning of the regional organizations. This is, we have discussed the goals of African Union. What is the main functioning of African Union? That is to promote and protect human and people's rights in accordance with the African Charter on Human and People Rights and another relevant human rights instruments. There is a focus on that they want to protect the human rights, they human rights and humans also, by the African Charter on Human and People Rights, because of there is a charter that has been that has been covered in the African Union. They have make a African Charter in which there is a particularly they have focused on, they have made the confirmation that they will protect the human rights and humans also, and related any type of human rights that is also related to the human security, that they will also promote and protect human and people rights. This is next is to establish the necessary condition which enable the continent to play its rightful role in global economy and in international negotiation. What are they now saying here? That they want to make a necessary condition. They want what, the condition in which they are able to play a very important role in global economy and in international negotiations. International negotiation, because we can say that African community has not seen in a major role in a globally world. So the main focus of the African Union is to establish the necessary condition which enable the continent to play its or rightful role. Which type of role they want? A rightful role in the global economy and in international negotiation. They also play a part in international negotiation, because they want a face. They want to become a face of popularity. They want to become a face of world, as in a superpower, we can say, as in a economic power, we can say, uh, as in a continent. They want to, their continent should be feel as in a rightful continent. Next is to work with the relevant international partners in the eradication of preventable diseases and the promotion of good health on the continent historically, regional integration has been very active in Latin America. Because of, if we say that if there is a comparison that regional integration in Latin America is doing good from the last many decades. So they also want that as regional integration is going work in Latin America, they also want to be work as an international partners, relevant international partners as Latin America for preventing disease and promotion of good health. As they have given their sign that they want to work as in Latin American countries work for preventable diseases and the promotion of good health. They want international partners also. They will be they will work for the eradication of preventable diseases and promotion of good health as all continent regional Latin America is a regional organization of Latin America is doing. Starting with the Latin American Free Trade Association, as we have also discussed, this is LAFTA, 1960s, Central American Common Market. This is also discussed. This is CACM. Andean Pact, such as local communities have spring up anywhere. The local communities is going to make the organization and spring up everywhere because of this we can say LAFTA, CACM. These are the local communities organization. However, the countries that sought to open, such countries as Chile and Mexico, continue to pursue a bilateral free trade agreement. Regionalism in Latin America. Now we have to cover the Latin America as before we have covered the African Union. We also covered that what type of regionalism aspect, theoretical aspect of regionalism is working in Latin America. As in a simple we can say that Latin American community and the regional organization of the Latin America is going to work there. What type of working they are doing, nature of the work is there. So in the mid 20th century, regional integration started to overcome the limitation of the import, substitution, industrialization. Starting with the Latin America Free Trade Association, LAFTA, 1960s, such as local communities has spring up everywhere. But the economic recession is worsening in the 1970s and import substitution industrialization is in decline and regionalism in Latin America also gradually lost power. Discussions on regional integration in Latin America resumed in the late of 1980s as they seek an open regionalism. Now this is the timings of Latin America is we are discussing, that is LAFTA 1960s, and economic recession is worsening in 1970s. So this is the timing where industrialization is in decline and regionalism is in Latin America also gradually lost power. That is, LAFTA is also going in a losing the power, and as an industrialization of import is going to decline. So this is the time that Latin America has a very losing power situation. So they seek an open regionalism. What is this open regionalism is there? However, Latin America's open regionalism was not sustainable because of the leftist forces that appeared before the beginning of the 21st century. Historically, regionally integration has been very active in Latin America because of they have also seek an open regionalism, that Latin American countries they want an open regional organization, and because of they are in 21st century, they are historically they are regional, and integration aspect was very active in Latin America. So starting with the Latin American Free Trade Association in 1960s, Central American Common Market CACM Canadian Pact, such as local communities have spring up everywhere. However, the countries that sought to open such countries as Chile and Mexico continue to pursue bilateral free trade agreement. For all these type of, that is LAFTA, that is CACM, and the loss in 70s, the decline of industrialization, and Latin American regional organization lost in the power. These are the reason has come out, and the Canadian Pact and the local communities and the Chile and Mexico. This is, they have make a bilateral free trade agreement so that the local communities can work, and they also want to seek an open regionalism. They want an open regional organization. All of the scenario covers with this aspect, with this thought that Latin America in 1960s and 70s, and by the LAFTA and by the CACM, they want to open up a new regional organization. By this, they can make their upliftment and their progress. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Now we have covered the African Union, we have covered the Latin American countries, and we will be in the pattern of Southeast Asian nations. Founded in August 8, 1967 by Thailand, the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore through the signing of the Bangkok Declaration. In 8 August 1967, Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore. These are the countries, they have made the declaration that has been seen by us, the Bangkok Declaration. In the years that followed, Brunei, Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, and Cambodia joined. After some time, in the years, the Brunei also have become the part of this Bangkok Declaration. Vietnam also, Laos also, and Myanmar and Cambodia also joined the Bangkok Declaration. It was created to secure the region from the threat of communism and to develop the economy. Now we can say that the main function, the main reason, the main functioning, main aspect of this for making this Bangkok Declaration, this is, they doesn't want to, all these countries as in Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, Cambodia, and this is Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, and Thailand in 1967. They doesn't want to a part of communism because their regional area is getting the threat of communism, and they personally they want to develop their economy, not by the communist activities. So its main purpose is to accelerate the economy, promote regional stability, promote collaboration and mutual assistance on matters of common interest, assist each other in the fields of education, employment and research, improve the agricultural and industrial sector, promote sea studies, and maintain a global standing. What the Southeast Asian nations want? This Bangkok Declaration want in 1967. What is the main functioning? What they want to do work? On which basis they want to do the work? This is, they want, what they want? To promote collaboration. They want to collaborate. They want to that any type of country who are agree with our signing declaration rules and regulations, they can collaborate, and they also mutual assistance on the matters of common interest. They want that every country, this all type of country that has become the member of this Bangkok Declaration, they want a mutual assistance on the matter of common interest. They want to assist each other in the fields of education. Their main working will be based on education. They want that education should be main purpose of all of the countries. That has been the part of this Bangkok Declaration. They want a focus on employment for their citizens and research purpose, because all of these Southeast Asian nations are, as they are the part of sea port, and they are nearby the sea. So they want to approach the research, they want to improve the agricultural and industrial sector. There is a main part that they also give emphasis on agriculture. Why? Because agriculture is the main part, main focus of their economy and industrial sector. They want to promote the sea studies and maintain a global standing. For this, they also make their organization a global standing position. So this is Association of Southeast Asian Nations, the Asian Charter and its future. On 15th December 2008, the members of ASEAN met in the Jakarta to launch the ASEAN Charter. This is Association of Southeast Asian Nations. We are discussing about this 15 December 2008. The members met in the Jakarta to launch the ASEAN Charter. They want to start the ASEAN Charter within the aim of moving to closer to an EU style community. Which type of community they want? They want to follow that EU style, European Union style community. The charter turned ASEAN into a legal entity and aimed to create a single free trade area for the region, because European Union has a single free trade area of the region. They also, the ASEAN also wants to EU style community, and they want a ASEAN charter, that is the charter turned ASEAN into a legal entity and aimed to create a single free trade area for the region. So for this, in 2012, the ASEAN also created the ASEAN Human Rights Declaration. The ASEAN community was officially launched in 2015. By the legally, if we say that ASEAN has formed a human right declaration, this declaration has been launched by the Asian community in 2015 with a roadmap aimed at reaching the full potential of regional integration by in contrast of EU. Much focus has been put on creating one common identity. There is, however, the ASEAN faces many challenges ahead, such as conflict in interest and clearly defining sovereignty. Because of the ASEAN countries, this is Association of Southeast Asian Countries has faced there is a conflict in interest, because ASEAN countries has a very large conflict in interest and clearly defining sovereignty. Then, my dear students, we are going to cover up this the Asian way. The Asian way is an approach to solving issues that respect the cultural norms of Southeast Asia, a working process of style that is informal and personal. Policymakers constantly utilize compromise and constellation in the informal decision making process. That is, ASEAN leaders to communicate without bringing the discussions into the public view. Members avoid embarrassment that may lead to the further conflict. This is the Asian way, that is an approach to solving issues that respect the cultural norms of the Southeast. Regionalism in the Europe and European Union. Because of their appearances, the influence of Western Europe from the international community has declined. Economic cooperation was convenient to relax friendship between France and Germany, which had been fiercely conflicted. For example, Italy and Benelux, the economical self-reliance was difficult, so they think active interaction with economic integration. Regionalism in Europe, the European Union, we have also covered that. We have seen all these things. Success factor of the EU meet the condition that respect for democracy, human rights, rule of law, cosmopolitanism. They aim to for worldwide spread of European governance based on respect for democracy and human rights. This is that EU governance principle as a new governance system, Copenhagen standards. These are clearly defined as new member registration. Okay. Thank you very much.